Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Um, it is June the 9th. It is Thursday. I was about to say Wednesday. I mean, this week is flying by. It's like it was Monday, like yesterday. Um, and it just feels like there's so much going on. I know I can only speak for what's going on in my life, but it just feels like there's a lot of stuff going on just in general. Um, but and strive to manage it, right? I mean, you can't sometimes, but what we can do at times is actually strive to manage the things that we do. Peace. Good morning. We can try to manage the things that we do or try to manage the chaos. There's always going to be something that go on in your life, um, but the best thing we can do is then try or strive to manage the chaos, because you might not control it or control everything, but at least develop some sort of mechanism or have some sort of system to where you can then manage the chaos that surrounds you. And a lot of times when you learn how to manage the chaos, then sometimes you actually begin to help yourself mentally on what do you do when you feel this way, or what actions do you take when you see these things, or who do you go talk to when you're feeling a certain way. That's managing the chaos, because not all the time you're going to be able to grab a hold of something and shake it to make it different. Not saying go out there and shake somebody and choke their neck or nothing like that, but you're not always going to grab a hold of someone and change it. So sometimes you have to talk to people in order for you to try to manage some of the chaos that's going on in your life, and some of the things that you do, at the same time. So what we're talking about here today is a very uh different subject, but it's one that I think that right now it is very prevalent in some people's lives. Giving birth to the dream, or giving birth to ideas, because very often some people, I can say for me, very a lot of times when I come up with ideas and dreams, I have to give birth to it, because if not, then it's not going to come to pass. Because I mean, the dream was given to you, the vision was given to you. Now there may be others who may share those shared dreams, and who have a shared interest in those visions, or a shared interest in the idea, but ultimately the dream was given to you. So it is then now your responsibility to birth that. So let's go ahead. Well, good morning. Let me start over. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Appreciate those that are watching on Facebook, or watching on YouTube, or even listening into the podcast space. I thank you and I appreciate you 1000% for being here, because again, you don't have to be. So I will always show you gratitude, and I will always show my thanks to you. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Give birth to the dream. Give birth to the dream. So if there's something that you have a dream in doing, or you have an idea or a vision in doing, put that inside the chat. Put dream if it's a dream, or if it's just a simple vision, put vision, or if it's an idea, put idea. So put dream, idea, or vision inside the chat, because that's what we're going to be talking about today, to give birth to that thing. I mean, I'll let you switch out and interchange the word dream for idea and vision. That's up to you. But the main focus and what we're going to be communicating is, how do you give birth, or to give birth to that particular thing. Now, for those that who may be new to the platform, or those who've been on the platform since its conception, you're always going to get the word. You're always going to get the definition of the word. Then sometimes you'll get the etymology of it, which is the origin, the root word, and things of that nature. So that's what we're talking about. We're giving birth to it, Hey, peace. Good morning for those who just came in. So, what type of dream have you had? What vision have you had? What idea have you had that you have yet to give birth to? And let's go into the definition of the word birth. Now, I learned something today about birth. So, birth, it says the definition of birth is the act or process of bearing or bringing forth offspring, also referred to in technical context as parturition. So the inversion on this is red, parturition, sorry. The inversion on this is red over white, which is the birth. Birth is the act or process of bearing or bringing forth. Because remember, we're talking about give birth to the dream. Again, you can add whatever you want after it, whether it is, again, a dream, an idea, or a vision. Whatever it is, we're talking about giving birth to it. So to bring in to birth in the act or process of bearing or bringing forth. So now let's go into the etymology of the word birth. Now, this is where it was an aha moment for me, because I've never looked up the origin of the word birth. So birth is said, the origin of the word birth. Now, as you see, you have the BIR and you have the TH. Now, the etymology completely broke it up. And that's where I was like, oh wow, this is deeper than what it is. So to consist in efforts of accomplishing something, attentive or persistent at doing anything. Wait a minute. Hold on. That ain't it. I'm gonna read it to you real quick. So that should have been changed out. But anyway, all right. So birth, it is said to the fact or bringing the fact of being born. You know, that's the activity, the active word, the active part of it. And the BIR is dealing with burr, like to bear. So the BIR, which is the BIR, which is the BHER, which is the Old High German, which means to carry or to bear children. So to carry, how many ideas are you carrying around? That's the BIR. You bear it, just like a woman, she is the bearer of life. So we as individuals, we are a bearer of vision. We are the bearer of dreams. We are the bearer of concepts and ideas. But how long are we going to bear those ideas until we bring it into fruition, till we birth those particular ideas? And that is when we go into the other part that I learned, which is the TH. So you have bear, which is to carry. And then you have TH, which is for process. So the word bear, birth itself, it is a conjunction between to carry and to process, because just like the gestational period, it is a process. So let's look at it this way. And it just hit me in another aha moment. Look at it this way. When you're looking at the gestational period itself, when the woman bears the child, she carries it through the process. So that's where the etymology of the word birth, the BIR, is to bear, that is to carry. And the TH refers to the suffix as the process. She carries it through the process. And when you're looking at it in reference of a non-living thing, it is any coming into existence. How many times and what things have we carried to process, but never bring it into the light, never bring it into action, never bring it into activity, but we want to bring these things out because now it is time to give birth to that particular dream or idea. So now let's take this deep dive. let's take this deep dive. And now we're looking at the gestational period, not just of the actual physical birth of bringing a child out. So now let's deep dive in a gestational period of where our ideas are stored, which is in our head, or our minds, I should say. When the ideas is stored within our minds, it goes through the gestational period because the eyes is what see it, but inside of our mind is our inner vision. And when we're in our head, like we say, when we're in our head with our ideas and with our dreams and with our concepts, we can see it so clear. Just like when the woman is with child and now she's showing, that means that there is a child in there, right? That means there's something in there, and especially when you see it kicking. Like when you have ideas that you're kicking around in your head, it's there. You can feel it. You can see it. And now other people have the ability to see it because they see you moving different. They see you're talking different. They see you doing things that are different. Just like when a woman, she is carrying a child, she has to move different in order for her to protect the gift that she's carrying inside of her. So just like the woman who is carrying that child, she's moving and she's eating different and she's exercising and she's walking, and there are some things that she no longer does because the dream that is within inside of her, that's living inside of her, going through that gestational period, that makes her move different. So that dream that's inside of your head that you're carrying to full term, or that you've carried to full term, that you've been work those things out. And the first thing that I want you to understand, creativity is subtraction. And what do you mean by creativity is subtraction? You're going to have to be creative in your thoughts in order for you to be okay with walking away from certain things. Because as you learn more things and become creative in some of the acts or the activities that you learn about yourself, there are some things that you're going to no longer do. There are some places and some people that you're no longer going to be around. Just like for a woman who is carrying child, the doctor would say, we know you like the drink or the spirits, whatever it is, and they're told to no longer do that. And they have to find other creative ways to still be comfortable. So when we begin to learn how to remove those useless things that block our creativity, then we're going to have the concept of how to subtract those things out of our lives that block the gift, or those things that block the vision. Because as we know, when women there with children, they're going to begin to subtract the things that stress them, right? Because they don't want a complicated pregnancy. So they know that they have to remove themselves from things that is going to bring about stress in their lives. Is the same thing that you're going to have to do in order for you to birth that dream, in order for you to birth that gift, in order for you to bring that idea into its physical form. So understand that your creativity is going to subtract some things. There's going to be some people that won't rock with you the same way because they're going to say you move different. Like, okay, no, I don't move different. I move in a direction that's progressive. I'm moving in a direction that's helping me. I'm moving in a direction that I have grown to go in, or I have grown to become. Just like a woman who is, it depends on how she carries. She's carrying big or she's carrying small, however the stomach is. But she's carrying it in his visual. You can see it. So now after we get to that point, you have to understand, and now it's in the process of moving past the incubation stage. Now it has been an incubator, and it has been incubated inside of our heads for long enough. But no one understands that it's still an important stage with the dream in its incubation, because like a child that's, I mean, if you ever had a child that's in the NICU, and they're inside of the machine, they're giving them lots of nutrients in order for them to get the baby's weight up. So in order for you to get your weight up, or in order for you to develop or grasp the concept, the incubation stage is important. But we have to understand that when it is time to come out and time to come home, or time to grow this thing into term to where it can breathe on its own, you're going to go through that incubation stage. And it is so important that you have to learn the process and how you begin to detach your focus and let your mind be okay with being in this incubation stage. But don't stay in the incubation stage for so long, because why? What happens? Because sometimes that's where doubt set in. Sometimes in the incubation stage, that's where the fear lies. Just like in natural terms, in the incubation stage, again, for parents who especially had a child that was in a NICU and then sitting inside an incubator, there's a lot of fear that happens in this stage. Is my baby weighing enough? Has my baby passed bowel movement? Because there's lots of fears, that because there are some children in the incubation stage that don't come out. They no longer have the fight within inside of them, so they pass away. But are you fighting for your dreams? Are you fighting for your ideas? Are you fighting for your concepts? Because in order for it to come to birth, in order for it to develop itself, to be able to breathe on its own, to have life, you're going to have to understand that the incubation stage is important, but do not stay there too long, because you're going to begin to doubt the who that you are. And I want you to know that you had enough verification. You know that you got it. You don't have to wait for somebody else to verify or to give you some sort of pat on the back just to say, man, this is a great idea. Man, let's do it. You will know when the idea has been approved by you. You will have signs and visions that it is time to bring this idea forward. It is time to birth this idea and bring it into its physical existence. You've had enough verification. You've had enough research that it can work. And it's up to you to approve of that. Last thing that I want you to understand: you have labored long enough. You have completely gone to full term. You have come to grips that it is complete. And you've gone to all your appointments. You've gone to all these meetings. You sat down with so many mentors. You've written it out you've written pages and pages of what you want to do. You talked with who you needed to talk to. You've written your mission and your mission and your vision statement so many times. You've eaten well, you've exercised well, and now it's time for you to deliver that dream. It's time for you to bring it forward and bringing it into existence. And when you bring it forward and you bring it into existence, the things that happen after that is completely up to you. So I say to you, for those who have dreams, for those who have visions, for those who know and understand that their gifts has put them in a position to bring forth that very dream to life, I say to you now, just push. Push yourself. Push that dream out. Understand that your concepts can be a reality, but you have to open yourself up to push. Even from a physical point, like for women that have gone through a cesarean, there's some things you're going to have to cut off. There's some things you're going to have to cut open. There's some ideas you're going to have to cut up sometimes. But there's some ideas, just like the umbilical cord from the mother to the child. It is time to sever the idea with the concept and bring it forth into reality, because you got it. And just push. All right, y'all be blessed. And remember, here at Consistency is Currency. And just remember, your ideas and your purpose was given to you on purpose. Now it's just time to live it. See you tomorrow, 7:30. Y'all be blessed. Peace.